Closed captioning provided by Beaufort County.
Everybody needs beauty as well as bread, places to play in and pray in, where nature may heal and cheer and give strength to body and soul alike. John Muir wrote those words in the Yosemite. I don't think he ever set foot in this part of the country, but I have a feeling he would appreciate what we're doing here today. Good morning, I'm Brian Flewelling, Beaufort County Council, District 5. Which includes Widgeon Point Park, where we are today. On behalf of Chairman Passmont, Vice Chairman Somerville, and all of County Council, including Miss Alice Howard, who's with us today, I'd like to thank you and welcome you to Widgeon Point Park. I'd like to thank the county staff who worked so hard to put this event together today so that everybody could see what we're doing. This new facility we are here to open is one of the results of our Rural and Critical Lands program. In 2000, the citizens of Beaufort County instructed County Council to issue bonds and structure a program to purchase property or acquire easements for preservation or conservation of our unique natural resources. To date, over 25,000 acres have been acquired and preserved. Of course, what good does conservation do if no one can see it? Certainly there are times and places where no foot can tread without some negative impacts on the land. However, some of the property we've purchased, it's just clearly fine for us to be able to use it for passive activities like a park. People can come and see what makes this place so special and so worthy of preservation. Widgeon Point Park was purchased in 2007 for $4 million in a partnership with Beaufort County owning a 7/8 interest, Beaufort County Open Land Trust owning a 1/8 interest, and the South Carolina Conservation Bank also assisted in this with us. The property is 162 acres of mixed pinewood forest, maritime forest, freshwater depression wetlands, and saltwater marshes along the Broad River and the Port Royal Sound, including 3 small islands to the south and east of the main property. The property was historically used for hunting as a horse farm and had limited timber harvesting from 1939 until its acquisition by the county and our partner, the Open Land Trust. Today, the property is a Beaufort County passive park providing wildlife and scenic viewing, picnicking and trail hiking for residents and visitors. The county maintains the property and rents the barn for weddings and other social events, the proceeds of which go back into the maintenance and management of the property. Angel, my wife, and I learned to square dance in the barn back there just a few years ago. Widgeon Point joins Crystal Lake Park, Fort Fremont, Altamaha Town Heritage Preserve, Brewer Memorial Park, Oyster Factory Park, and other parks currently available to us thanks to the Rural and Critical Lands program. But more is on the way. New River Park, Okatie, Headwaters, Pinckney Colony, and Whitehall are all coming soon. But we're here today to officially open Widgeon Point Park. I'd like to extend my deepest gratitude to the Beaufort County Open Land Trust. Without their vision, inspiration, leadership, and support, none of this would have been possible. Also, thanks to Beaufort County staff who've worked so hard to get us to this point. And thanks to you, the citizens of Beaufort County, for your faith in County Council to get this built for you, this vision come to fruition. Thank you so much for that. I invite everybody in the county and everyone who hears the sound of my voice to make it the trip out here to Widgeon Point Park. Relax, take a walk, enjoy the view, see the beauty, play and pray, heal and gain strength. I'll see you out here. May God continue to bless America. At this point, I'd ask everybody to join me behind the ribbon for the cutting. Specifically, make sure Miss Alice Howard is up close to the front, and Kristen Williams, the director of the Beaufort County Open Land Trust. I need you up here as well, helping me hold the scissors. Everybody else, come on, let's go. Let's open this thing. Put it right up close. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Welcome! Woo! Thank you all very much. Thank all of you very much.
So there's several different facilities out here on the park, and you'll see right here behind us is a little picnic pavilion, as well as several paths that are going throughout the park we have bathroom facilities as well as a birding blind that we're going to go stand in here in just a second. But there's also a barn up on the top end of the property where a lot of the events are held and everything. So we'll take a walk up to the birding blind and see what we can see. Well, this is the birding blind that the county had built, and I think it's going to be a great spot for many people to come with school groups and bird watch, or even little bird watching clubs to come see what there is. Right now I don't really see a whole lot other than some egrets, but throughout the year there's going to be a lot of your shorebirds, as well as like roseate spoonbills and everything hanging out here on specifically that little island, but you can also catch them throughout the whole perimeter of the pond. So the Port Royal Sound butts up directly to Widgeon Point all the way around it. It's actually in the Port Royal Sound watershed, and the Port Royal Sound watershed takes up 1,600 square miles of space, and really only 43% of that's in Beaufort County. So it's super important for us to protect land going further up, to ensure that our water quality here is protected forever. So as you can see here in this kind of brackish pond, And then we get into the deep water marsh out past this.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Nadgett. I'm the Passive Parks Manager for Beaufort County. We are a co-owner with Beaufort County Open Land Trust for Widgeon Point Preserve, and you've just seen the grand opening and the bird blind by Kayla Romanes, and we are here at the barn. This barn was on the property when we purchased the property. We have renovated it a little bit, and it is available for rental. So it's a lovely, lovely location to have weddings or family reunions or social gatherings, work parties. We do have a rental application that's available, and you can contact me on our website, and I'll be happy to discuss that with you if you choose to rent. So when the property was acquired, there was an existing road. So this bridge that we're on and the road we're about to walk on was already here. We reinforced the bridge, we redid the bridge to make it stable, and then we added an additional section on the existing road to create the loop trail to go through the property to see the different habitat types that we have. And so as we walk on the trail, I'll be pointing out the different habitats and some of the benefits that they provide for ecosystem services. So this little depression is one of the few isolated freshwater depressions we have on the property. It does provide a place for stormwater runoff on the land to drain to, but it is also one of the few areas where wildlife can come and actually drink fresh water, since the property is surrounded by brackish and salt water. So as you can see here, there's a little deer trail that comes right to the edge of the pond. Obviously heavily used by wildlife to get to the fresh water. One of the dangers with these little ponds is that it does invite alligators. And so we do have signs on the property indicating that there are alligators present on property. Right now, because it's winter, they're it's called torpor, where they slow down their metabolism. They go to the bottom of the ponds, only coming up for air. Their feeding rates decrease in the winter. But in the summertime, a lot of times you'll see them out on the surface of the water and even basking in the sun. So as you're walking along the trail, you'll notice that there are some trees like this that have burn marks on them. This is because back in 2008, this property had a prescribed fire on it just shortly after it was acquired. Shortly after it was acquired by the county and the Open Land Trust. Even though this burn scorch goes all the way up into the canopy of the tree, you can see it did not kill the palm tree. Palm trees are one of those species that are fire prone. They actually, in order to continue to thrive and in order for the forest to thrive, fire is a required element. So the tree itself is able to come back very quickly after a prescribed fire. Future land management activities will include prescribed fire on this portion of the back island. So there may be from time to time where the park is going to be closed due to land management activities when we're able to do that. We do coordinate with South Carolina Forestry Department or Forestry Commission when conducting those burns. The only time we will take down a dead tree is if it is within a hazardous distance from where we're putting pedestrians. So if we had something right on the edge of the trail, I would do it, but if it's over there, like that one is partially dead, We leave it, snags are very important for wildlife, especially cavity nesting birds, so we leave them. So one of the habitat types on Widgeon Point Preserve is a mixed pine hardwood upland. And the interior of the back island in particular is this particular habitat type. And you can see that it's got the tall pine trees mixed with the palmettos, but then also it's got these live oaks, some of which are actually sand live oaks, where there's particularly deep pockets of sand on the island. So the interior is this type of habitat, and then as we move down the trail and get closer to the edge of the island, you'll see where the maritime forest is, and I'll be able to point out the difference there between an upland mixed hardwood and a maritime forest. So one of the differences between the upland mixed hardwood and the maritime forest is that pine trees are not particularly salt tolerant. So the closer you get to where saltwater intrusion is encroaching in the groundwater, sorry, the wind is high. When the saltwater is encroaching into the groundwater, the pine trees start to die off. And so a lot of times you'll see snags right on the edge of islands where the sea level rise is getting that saltwater intrusion underground. A key component of maritime forest is a mix of cedars, which are salt tolerant, so they end up taking the place of pines, palm trees, and then the live oaks. So right here is a perfect example of that transition between the pines to that maritime forest. A lot of times you'll see maritime forest as a band around the edge of these barrier islands. And we're going to take a quick little view down this little trail that Kayla and some volunteers cut for us so we can have a really great view of the sound. One of the things, Jared asked a great question about, the significance of this, particular property kind of on that national scale. And one of the significances of barrier islands in general, in particular this one, and one of the conservation purposes for the island is the ability for salt marsh migration due to sea level rise. So as you can see right here on the edge, we're getting a lot of erosion on this little bank. Well, if there was a seawall here, this erosion would not be able to occur, but also the salt marsh that's out there that will end up dying off because it's getting too flooded and will need a place to go. This allows that migration so the salt marsh can continue to survive in the width, in the extent that it is, given that there's no barrier for the marsh to continue to come a little more inland as those sea levels rise. So this particular island, as we go around the rest of the trail, you'll see little pockets of this where we have some erosion from from hurricanes, but also sea level rise, and is allowing that salt marsh migration so we can continue to have this wonderful resource in our environment.
So this was not this island, but other islands that are.
We're nearing the end of our trail here. It's almost a 3/4 mile loop, so hopefully everybody feels like they got a little exercise this morning. This barn was here when we acquired the property. It was used as an equipment barn for the horse farm that used to be here. We kind of cleaned up some of the debris and also just added a couple of picnic tables, so if somebody's out on the trail and they get stuck in some rain, we have at least a shelter for people to come and take a little break, get out of the weather. So hopefully everybody can enjoy a picnic in the woods and pack out what you pack in, please. All right, we are gonna finish up the loop and we'll be on our way. All right, so that concludes our tour of Widgeon Point Preserve. I hope everybody who's viewing it from home has enjoyed the virtual grand opening, and that you come by and visit the park. The hours are dawn to dusk every day. There is no time for closure unless it's posted on site for a land management activity. So today, January 15th, starts the first day, and I look forward to hopefully seeing some people walking the trails. Thank you very much.
What's the ozone forecast? When it's green, that's great. At yellow, air quality is okay for most people. Orange means pollution-sensitive people should limit time outdoors. At red, the air can be unhealthy for everyone. See ya!
I'm Sarah Brock, Clerk to Council for Beaufort County Council. Did you know Beaufort County has 29 active boards and commissions? These boards and commissions serve a vital role in Beaufort County and allow citizens like you to get involved with local government and advise your council members on a wide range of issues. Members serve in a variety of capacities, from advising council regarding the selling and purchasing of land, hearing appeals, allocating ATAX monies, advocating for specific organizations, working on stormwater-related issues, zoning issues, design review, historical preservation, you name it. Visit www.beaufortcountysc.gov/council/boards and commissions today to see a list of our active boards and commissions and fill out an application. Sign up today so you can have a hand in making our community even greater than it already is.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
Are we there yet?
Yep. We're here.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Nearly 93 million miles away from us, the Sun is the only star in our solar system and is just one of billions in the Milky Way galaxy. It is essential to life here on Earth. Without the Sun, plants would not be able to photosynthesize, making the
energy that ultimately fuels all living things and producing oxygen for us to breathe. The sun also drives our climate and weather. Let's explore some of the properties of the sun. The sun is made up mostly of the element hydrogen. At its core, it's undergoing nuclear fusion, forming helium and small amounts of other elements like oxygen and iron. This produces huge amounts of energy. The sun's energy comes in the form of heat, visible light, and invisible light. It takes about 8.5 minutes for the light the sun is producing to reach our eyes. So if the sun disappeared, it would take about 8.5 minutes before we found out about it. We can see the power of the sun's heat in action by building a solar oven like this one. Using nothing but the sun's energy, we can actually use this oven to cook food. On a really warm day with lots of sunlight, one of these solar ovens can reach temperatures of up to 200 degrees. It's the UV rays, the invisible light, that cause sunburns and cause damage to our skin. Let's do a little experiment. These beads change color in the presence of UV rays. In the full sun, you can see that they change colors, indicating that UV lights are reaching the earth or our skin. What about in the shade? Even in the shade, the beads change color a little bit because some UV rays are reaching us. Now, if we apply a sunscreen, the beads won't change color as much in the sun because the chemicals in the sunscreen are blocking the UV rays from reaching the beads or our skin. The sun's light is very powerful, so you should never look directly at it. If you ever wish to observe the sun directly, you should wear a pair of special glasses like these, or use optics that are protected by filters. The sun is very active. Fluctuations in its magnetic field cause sunspots, solar flare, and massive bursts of energy and changes in magnetism in its outer layers. If the invisible forms of energy produced during these solar storms hit Earth, they can cause all sorts of problems with our electronic systems. Sometimes the sun, moon, and the Earth come into alignment and a solar eclipse happens. You may wonder how this can happen because the moon is so tiny in relation to the sun. So let's look at an example that's about to scale. If the sun's the size of a basketball, the moon is about the size of a tiny pencil dot. If I'm the Earth, on this scale, the moon is about 3 inches away, and it's just large enough to obscure the view of the sun from the Earth. But the moon orbits in between the Earth and the sun every month. So why aren't there eclipses every month? That's because the moon's path around the Earth is tilted slightly in relation to the Earth's path around the sun. So only occasionally does the moon cast its shadow onto the Earth. Life in the low country revolves around the sun, so next time you're outside soaking up some rays, think about just how important the sun is to life as we know it.
The County Channel is also available on video on demand. Go to BeaufortCountySC.gov, scroll down to Public Meetings, click Watch Now, and then click the Video on Demand button and select your program from the list.
Call the meeting to order.
If you'd like a DVD of this program, click on the link on the right and fill out the order form.